Thank you for watching this video, Trustees and Fundraising. This short video has been created to introduce you to what a trustee is and what their responsibilities are in relation to fundraising. Let's start by looking at what a trustee is. In Scotland, trustees are defined in the Charities and Trustee Investment Scotland Act 2005, or the 2005 Act, as persons having the general control and management of the administration of a charity. Charity trustees are sometimes known as committee members, directors, or board members. The role of a charity trustee will vary depending on the charity. Some charities have staff who are responsible for daily operations, with the charity trustees providing strategic oversight and governance. Other charities are run solely by the charity's trustees. In all circumstances, the trustees are legally accountable for their charity's actions, including its fundraising. All charity trustees have legal duties and responsibilities. The Scottish Charity Regulator's guidance on charity trustee duties and fundraising outlines the following main duties. Acting in the interest of the charity. This means you must do what's best for your charity and its beneficiaries, putting the interests of your organisation above any other organisation or individual. This includes protecting the charity's interests, assets and reputation, and a trustee should be able to demonstrate how the money spent on fundraising is in the best interest of the charity. Acting with due care and diligence. Any decision you make as a trustee should be made with the same care as if you were managing the affairs of another person. In practice, this involves justifying investment into fundraising, accounting for any money generated, monitoring fundraising performance, and embedding your charity's values into your fundraising practices. And finally, complying with the 2005 Act. Charity trustees are required by law to act in the interests of the charity. This means, as charity trustees, you must be able to make sure any fundraising carried out by or on behalf of your charity complies with all relevant laws and does not put the charity or its reputation at unnecessary risk. As a charity trustee, you must comply with all relevant legal requirements, make sure that all funds which are raised are properly accounted for, and only spend donations on the purposes for which they were raised. What are a trustee's duties when it comes to fundraising? Trustees take ultimate responsibility for the fundraising activities of their charity. This is still the case even when they've delegated these roles to paid staff or to volunteers. Trustees need to ensure that any risks or conflicts of interest that may arise in fundraising activities are managed by the charity. Trustees are also ultimately responsible for ensuring the charity complies with the law in the way that it fundraises. This includes ensuring paid staff and volunteer fundraisers are complying with the law, meeting all legal requirements relating to data protection, ensuring agreements with third-party fundraisers are in place, and that the relevant licenses or permissions are in place for collections. And finally, a trustee's role includes considering the impact of any fundraising campaigns on the charity's reputation, especially when the actions of their charity could have a subsequent impact on public perceptions of trust in fundraising. Fundraising in Scotland is subject to a system of enhanced self-regulation overseen by the Scottish Fundraising Adjudication Panel in line with the Code of Fundraising Practice. All fundraising in the UK is subject to the Code of Fundraising Practice, which sets out the standards expected of all charitable fundraising organisations across the UK and is held and maintained by the Fundraising Regulator. To decide whether the Fundraising Regulator or the Scottish Fundraising Adjudication Panel should address a complaint, the regulators use the lead regulator model shown here. The panel addresses and adjudicates fundraising complaints related to Scottish registered charities. Where a charity is only registered with OSCAR, the fundraising complaint will be addressed by the panel. For charities registered in England and Wales with the Charity Commission for England and Wales, or the Charity Commission for Northern Ireland, the fundraising regulator will address these complaints. Where a charity is registered in Scotland with OSCAR, and in England and Wales or Northern Ireland with the Charity Commission, this is known as a cross-border charity, and the lead regulator model is applied. Where the charity is primarily registered determines whether the Scottish Fundraising Adjudication Panel or the fundraising regulator is lead regulator for the fundraising complaint. If a charity's lead regulator is the Charity Commission, then any complaints will be overseen by the fundraising regulator, even where they relate to complaints about fundraising activities in Scotland. If the charity's lead regulator is OSCAR, then the complaint should be made to the panel. This is the model adopted by both regulators. As a trustee, it's important you understand the value and the role that fundraising plays in enabling your charity to achieve its objectives. As trustees are accountable for the fundraising activities of your charity, they are ultimately responsible for redressing complaints raised about the charity's fundraising. A trustee is responsible for ensuring the charity is compliant with the law in the way that it fundraises. Trustees need to be familiar with the fundraising standards which are set out in the Code of Fundraising Practice, and your charity should operate in line with these standards to be legal, open, honest and respectful in their fundraising activities. I'll finish up by sharing some guidance you may find useful. The Trustees and Fundraising in Scotland Guide from the Chartered Institute of Fundraising, and Oscar's Fundraising Guidance for Charity Trustees and their Guidance and Good Practice for Charity Trustees. Thank you for watching.